That was a commercial. I think, like, you all being here, there's something about, you know, being in person.
Oh. I didn't even put it down. Are we ready?
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, so I'll call the program committee meeting to order at 12:02 p.m. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to meeting minutes from the March 13 to 2025 meeting. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes? Second.
Roll call's not necessary. All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to public comment. At this time, comments from the audience may be made on items not listed on the agenda that are of public interest and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the district. The committee has a policy of limiting speakers to not more than 3 minutes. The committee cannot take action on items not listed on the agenda. Public input may be offered on an agenda item when it comes up for discussion and or action. Are there any public comments at this time?
Not online. Are there any public comments here? For items not on the agenda? Doesn't appear so.
So we'll move on to, do we have a chief executive officer report? Did he leave something or no?
We don't.
Okay.
He couldn't join us today. But thank you for asking.
Okay, we'll move on to program updates. Number 1, progress and financial report update. Are there any questions regarding the progress financial report? Is there any public comment on?
No public comments.
Okay. Move on to grant application status report. Is there any questions regarding the grant application status report? Is there any public comment?
No public comment.
I do have a question on the status report. So for the ones that are pending, are they scheduled to be heard during our next committee meeting or that?
It
just depends
yeah,
on?
it depends on whether we're gonna have a grant application consultation with them. And whether we'll be ready for prime time for the next program.
Are there any on the list that you think are almost ready to be heard?
Look at the list.
It's up top too.
Oh.
So the first one is.
Probably in May would maybe be Intercare. The UCR grant, we given that to our legal counsel to review because Eisenhower Medical Center is involved and there might be something with the non-compete clause. Volunteers in medicine possibly could be ready for May.
For the UCR, have we let them know that we're checking with legal counsel? Or ask if they wanna amend their application, or is that an option?
Not, well, we haven't talked. to
You
them
haven't
yet,
talked to them?
yeah. We just wanted to get some kind of legal ruling first, and actually what he's done is he's given it to tenant to review and give it, that's a approval, but if we can go forward
So
with
that
it.
might not happen in May.
It might not happen.
Okay.
What's the other one? And then the rest are here, yeah,
Thank you then.
you're welcome.
Are there any other questions?
No.
Okay, we'll move on to grant funding actions. Number 1, grant number 1493 CSUSC, the Philanthropic Foundation.
Did you not? want to see
Oh,
if they
the
had
grant
questions
application status
on the,
I did ask
on the grant
before she,
schedule.
well, I had asked before she asked the question, but is there any
Oh, the
public
grant payment-
comment
oh, the
on
grant
the
payment
grant
schedule.
payment schedule?
No question.
Oh, but then there's the grant payment schedule. I have questions on that.
No.
On page 43.
Okay. So anybody have any questions on the grant payment schedule? No? Any public comment on the grant payment schedule?
No public comment.
Move on to grant number 1493, CSUSB Philanthropic Foundation on Desert Campus Nursing Street Medicine Program for 88,013. Is there any questions regarding the grant?
No, but if we can get would you like a presentation and hear from the organization or review?
Diane is here.
Over?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the only thing I did send, I know there were some questions by the reviewers about,
Could you announce your name and?
oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Diane Vines, I'm Executive Director of the Nursing Street Medicine Program from Cal State San Bernardino. And the one thing we should have added in our budget, and there was concern about it from the reviewers, is how much the university is supporting the grant. And we should have put that in our budget, but we didn't. We get about $57,000 a year in faculty salaries. We also are using instructionally related student fees to buy medical equipment. And that we now have, we're now going to be a separate part of the annual giving campaign for the campus. And we have an $85,000 grant from our dean. So they have been very, very supportive, and especially in these really rough times. This is the university is being cut severely. So it really is a big contribution. And we, in the future, will include that in our budget. We also have in-kind contributions, a lot of them like video services and donor dinners and things like that. But we'll include that next time in our budget.
Do you think there's gonna be a next time?
Yeah.
Or if there is a next time, all right.
I was
Yeah.
gonna.
Just take a question out of my
Like,
mind.
wherever we send it, next time we'll send it to anybody we send it to.
My only question is, now I remember you can answer this, is there coordination between, our efforts on street medicine and this program?
There is, yeah, we're part of the CV collaborative,
Okay, that's right.
that VIM and Diane and Doug Moran are the lead. So we meet with them on a monthly basis and we coordinate efforts and
And there are now 51 organizations belonging to that collaborative, Street Outreach Collaborative.
Oh, very good.
Been very successful in building cooperation across street outreach teams. Yeah.
Does healthcare in action part of that as well, or there?
No, I don't think so.
think, no.
That's a good point. Would be good. I'll look into that.
But they also, when you have your mobile medical clinics, like on the Desert Hot Springs, that comes to us as well. Things like
Yeah, so we have, part of the members of the CV collaborative do participate in that, like the showers, the mobile showers, and we have other supportive services. We have the mobile unit from DPSS that shows up to connect folks with different services. So yeah, so it's good. We're establishing partnerships and then identifying areas where, where we're located, and then we add additional supportive components to it, which are provided by some of the members of the CV collaborative.
I just got a $3,000 grant from the university to hire a nursing student assistant to actually contact all of those organizations and get them on the calendar for the regular events so that it's easier for us to share events
Oh, yeah. good.
and go out together instead of one at a time.
5 or 6 also.
Oh, good, thank you. I did read it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you mind sending us an email of what you just mentioned about all the money that the university has contributed?
Oh,
We
yes,
could
I
add
sure
it-
will. I did
We can
send
add
one.
this for the board packet.
Okay, I did send one to Erica this morning, but it doesn't include all of it, so I'll include it. Okay, thank you.
Because that question might come up with the other board directors as
Okay.
well.
Well, I'll move for approval of this item G1, to send it to full board for consideration.
A second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move that one forward to the board for final approval. Move on to number 2, grant number 1498, Variety Children's Charities of the Desert, 1066, for program evaluation, 175,016. Is there any questions or do you want to hear a brief overview?
Heidi?
Yes, I think so. I'm Heidi Muldoon, Executive Director of Variety Children's Charity, and I have a few team members with me today. Nick Rossi, our Development Manager, Alejandra Rodriguez, our Program Manager, and grant writer Pam Deary. So this is the team that worked on this application, and we're so grateful for the consideration today. What we're asking for is help and support to expand our services. We've been doing them full-time in Palm Desert for many years. And now we're looking to do even more in both Mecca and Desert Hot Springs. So the primary purpose is to help us become closer to full-time in those areas and take some steps in that direction. One additional thing, if you don't mind, if I offer, one of the reviewers' points was some outdated data that we had used. We definitely have worked on some improved and more current data. We've got some things we can share now, or we could forward those if you'd like, just to help present our case and why the need exists and what it is we're trying to accomplish. Absolutely, happy to, certainly.
And I don't know if I've missed this, if it's been recorded, this is just out of curiosity. What's your like outreach? Is it directly? I know that I've seen you like at resource fairs, but is it more directly to work within like school districts or just community directly?
Great question. It is the community.
Uh-huh.
However, school districts absolutely are a partner of ours, but it certainly would be the community at large. Absolutely.
Right, and then within your programs that you offer, would this be like one-on-one or just like group programs?
It's both, but primarily what we'll see in Mecca and Desert Hot Springs would be one-on-one. But absolutely, we intend to bring some group efforts to those locations as well.
Would these be like home settings, or are you looking at the Boys and Girls Club, the recreation district?
The first 5 Riverside Family Resource Centers in both Mecca and DHS is where we have office space.
I'm just gonna ask if you partner with her.
Yes, we do. We're grateful to partner with them, yes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Are there any other questions?
No, I just, a comment is that I like that you're expanding to 2 of the most underserved areas within the district, so great work.
Thank you. Is there any public comment?
No public comments.
Or is there a motion to approve?
I will move the approval.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move forward to the board for final approval. Move on to grant number 1501, One Future Coachella Valley, building a healthcare workforce pipeline for 839,500 over a 2-year period. Here, a brief overview. Can we get a brief overview?
Absolutely. Good afternoon. My name is Ernie Rios. I'm the Vice President of College Success at One Future Coachella Valley, and my colleague Cristina Gregorio is joining me. We're really appreciative again for the opportunity to be working with Desert Healthcare District to help develop our workforce, healthcare workforce needs here in the region. This grant in particular would be helping us advance that work by supporting our Black and African American healthcare initiative, making sure we get more resources for our students to continue their pathways into and through post-secondary and the workforce. The grant would also support our graduate students. Unfortunately, for many of our graduate students, once they get their undergraduate degrees, funding dries up. It's a lot more difficult for them to get scholarships, to get state, federal, institutional aid. So this scholarship would help, this grant would help support the continuation of that work. In addition, we are also requesting support to award undergraduate scholarships in addition to the Black and African American Healthcare Initiative, so that we could support more students again in their pathways into and through post-secondary, again, to support the health workforce pipeline in the Coachella Valley. I do also want to share just some of the outcomes as a result of the work that we've been involved in with Desert Healthcare District over the years. To date, we've awarded several scholarships to students, over 3,000 scholarships to students across the Coachella Valley. Amongst those students that have been awarded by way of this collaborative work with Desert Healthcare District, we've had 467 degrees earned in healthcare. That includes 11 doctoral degrees, 156 nursing degrees, 54 master's degrees for students here in the region. So we are making inroads and making sure that students, again, are not only getting into post-secondary, but again, they're completing their education. Again, this grant is supporting that work, making sure that, again, we continue to advance our workforce efforts to address the disparities here in the region.
Thank you.
Another big part of the grant is the holistic and case management support services. So it's just like, you check and off you go. It's with them every step of the way.
Like an education type plan.
Mhm.
And this isn't a continuation of a,
It is.
in a
some-
way, yeah,
That's
okay.
what I was gonna say. I know we have the one, a concurrent one. Are they gonna be like next to each other, or is it gonna?
They probably will complement each other, but the current one is
Uh-huh.
with is specific to the College of the Desert cohort nurses. Getting them in the pipeline. because of,
Yeah, building a
waiting
healthcare
lists, yeah.
workforce pipeline, that's also for 2 years. And that one ends this year. It seems.
That's a year, yes.
Mhm.
We're supporting 35 students.
But this is focusing more on a marginalized population.
That specific scholarship.
Correct. The scholarships, and again, it is to ensure that the holistic wraparound supports, because what we found over the years, the scholarships in isolation aren't enough. The students really need support navigating, post-secondary. And full transparency, while the funding is just really critical, that one-on-one guidance, we've heard from students is equally is important, in some cases, even more important for students. They say that, having our team to help them, address challenges with families, transition into post-secondary, navigating that process, capturing rate. All students have to complete a college and career plan, and we make sure that we monitor them, throughout their academic journey. So it's the collective supports plus the financial aid that is really key.
And they monitor the funding too. They just so they just don't give them the money. They have to meet certain requirements before they get their next payment. And it goes to the school. The school gives them money.
Now, one of the questions that I had during our proposal conference was, how many of these students actually come back to the Valley? I know that we've been rewarding them, and it's a substantial number, and great work on that end, but how many of these actual students come back to practice here in the Coachella Valley?
Great question. So during our last survey, this was about 4 years ago, when we surveyed our students, about 50%, 55% of our students reported that they're back in the region working. This is something that we're working diligently on to chip away at. It's kind of what all colleges, universities, and organizations are after is, once students graduate, where are they? And so some of the steps that we've set in place to make sure that we collect that data after our students graduate, they are required to complete a LinkedIn account as part of the scholarship. That's our way of also tracking them along the way. So even when they graduate, we're digging into their LinkedIn accounts. It's also an opportunity for them to network with partners, and we can bridge them into the workforce. But that's something again that we're strengthening, our own systems to capture more data. And we are due for another round of data collection with our alumni to see where they're at. But again, as of 4 years ago, about 60% of our students, 55%, I should say, were reporting that they're in the region. And again, we're bridging back to the Coachella Valley. For those who go home, that's great.
No, that's great. That's really great information.
Is there any public comment?
No public comments.
Is there a motion to approve the grant?
1 second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll move that grant to the board for final approval. Is there, well, moving on to committee member comments. Are there any committee member comments at this time? Okay, I'll adjourn the meeting at 12:20 p.m. Our next scheduled meeting will be on May 8th, 2025. Move directly into the foundation.
And the board meeting is April 22nd.